Hey, welcome back to the Blue Collar Off-Road Podcast, episode 47. I'm Graham, I'm here with Cody, Luke, and Richie, and we got Mark back on, and we're gonna continue our Rausch Creek saga, I think. I definitely want to get Mark's take on the whole trip. I think it was awesome to have him out there and just see how awesome those weird knife tires could grab on those grippy Pennsylvania rocks. And I guess just hit on a couple things we may have missed out on in the previous episode. I know we talked a bunch about the trip down and the trip back. It was like majority of the podcast. It was not so much wheeling and more about the misadventures of getting there, which was fun. But I also want to talk about
the off-road side of an off-road podcast.
The off-roading portion is important. Yeah,
we talked about it. Stop.
That section of Route 80 in Pennsylvania sucks. It's like the Bermuda Triangle of tires. I had to stop twice.
Oh, Jesus.
Why? Because, it goes from asphalt to this weird cut cement, and it looks perfectly flat. But literally, I'm driving, and smooth as can be, and all of a sudden, I feel this, jarring, bouncing in the truck. I'm like, what the hell? I thought I blew a tire. I'm looking in the mirrors. I'm like, did I blow a tire? Pull over, check the tires. Nothing. Okay, well, maybe I just caught a bad bounce or something. Whatever. Chalk it up to first time towing. Keep going, and then it keeps getting worse. I'm like, this isn't death wobble. What the hell is this? I stopped again, checked for bubbles, slipped belts, anything. Nothing. And as I kept driving, I just see shredded tires every couple hundred feet. No lie.
Yeah.
And then I hit asphalt again. Smooth sailing for the rest of the way in.
No, those concrete slabs suck, and it's they must be just out of balance enough that it gets in a rhythm, and then your trailer and your truck just start going, and
That's exactly what happens when we were coming back with my Appalachian for the first time. We thought we had a broken trailer, and then we hit the flat asphalt because we came back up the opposite way, like you're going home, past that area on I-80. It's terrible.
And I think that's what took Miguel down, right? Is that one section of highway?
I think so.
Yeah.
So
It's actually 81, but.
Is it 81?
It's 81, yeah. It's all good.
It's all the same.
Yeah, one number off. Close enough.
So, I gotta ask, more important than the trip down and back, because I'm sure we'll be able to bounce back to that. What was your first impression pulling into the parking lot?
Well, I was like, okay, where is everybody? And I found you guys pretty quick, but I was excited to go. And Colin put the kibosh on that real quick. I don't want to throw him out. I don't want to throw him under the bus, but Colin's just we're rebuilding.
I felt so bad because you were ripping. You were ready to go, and I was ready to just get on the move too. But I also I understood Colin's situation. He should have worked on that coilover before we got there, but.
That's what Curtis is for.
No lie, my truck wasn't even in park by the time I was unstrapping the Jeep. I'm like, I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Yeah, I think that was definitely one of the... I think if we had been able to organize ourselves better that first day, and then in following days, we were always a little slow to get out, but I think that's just the nature of...
That's the nature of us as a group.
Unfortunately.
I wouldn't have got stung by bees either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you might have.
Eventually, I probably would have found them. But.
Yeah. If you had set your tent up in the same spot, then you would have still gotten stung. So
yeah.
Well, at least
they finally stopped itching after about a week.
Oh my god!
Yeah, they got me good.
Oh, by the way, thanks for the lovely alarm clock Sunday morning of beep beep.
Oh, I felt so bad that I forgot all about that. I should have cut the wire to that damn thing.
I was just concerned. I was sitting in my hammock, and I woke up to that, or I was sort of partially awake, so you didn't wake me out of a deep sleep. But I heard that, and then I heard the tire slip, and I was like, "Oh no, if he's getting stuck, and he's stuck in reverse, that's going to be a nightmare, and he's going to need somebody to help him.
Oh, I know. I
At 6
dropped a
in the
couple of
morning.
shits.
But you did it. You got it out of there.
And I'm impressed too because the spot that you were stuck in, you had to navigate between JB's Jeep and Graham's Jeep too.
Yeah, we didn't
So
make it easy.
Not only were you slipping and sliding and waking everybody up, but you actually had it's kind of like a, I mean, to a driver who drives a trailer all the time, it's not that bad. But to somebody who's pretty novice, like that's kind of a tough little chicane to get out of. So I was impressed.
Oh, I had to stop a couple times to make sure I wasn't going to hit anybody, and I almost hit Graham's Sheep. I had to stop. Like, oh,
It
crap,
would
I'm
have
a
been
little
a
closer than I
cosmetic
feel
improvement.
So I pulled forward, and then every time I had to put it in reverse, I'm just like, oh, God, this thing's loud. I forgot all about that thing, because I'd never really backed it up. I drove straight pretty much the whole time with it. So,
But one thing I'm happy to say is I was really impressed with your progression throughout the weekend. Like seeing you on not Crawl Daddy, Jitters Way, the first obstacle we did, compared to like you going up. Oh shit, what was it? Whatever it may have been. Like seeing your progression throughout the week was really fucking cool. Like it was really awesome for you to build the Jeep. Then to actually see you start to learn all the aspects of it, really start to understand like where your tires want to stick, how the Jeep likes to be. Like it was really fucking cool. And even Curtis said the same thing. Like he was really impressed with like when you first went up Jitters Way, you can see it in your video, like you were starstruck that you made it up it. Like you're just like, holy fuck. And then at the end of the video, or like the end of the video, but like at the end of the weekend, you're just like, this ain't shit. Like, I'm just driving my fucking Jeep. Like, it was really cool to see that, honestly.
well, like I was telling Luke, I didn't have much of a choice. I had Graham, Colin, and freaking Hackbar. Like, throwing caution to the wind. Fuck this shit. We're going right up this. Like, whatever. Like,
We're going. We're just
God damn it,
going.
I gotta follow these clowns?
I've said it. I said it several times throughout, that first section. Right, is last year we went to Rausch. I had never been before. The first thing we hit was Jitters Way, and it's a perfect one to start on because it's pretty close to the entrance. It's hard, but it's not too hard as long as it's dry, and it just at that point that is what you're comfortable with, right? You've done that. You know that's what you can do. So you're setting the precedent for the next obstacles, right? You know how it's going to behave to some extent. It's just a good one to warm up on because the expectations are set, right? This is sort of like what you can do and how it's going to be.
And to be honest, I think like if you stay within your comfort zone for too long, you get comfortable and you don't kind of progress. And that's kind of what happened with me. I am not a hill climb guy. I've never really enjoyed hill climbs and things like that or big climbs. And right out the gate, first thing, what do? A big ass climb.
Yep.
And I think that kind of took the edge off and kind of, like I said, you guys, it was peer pressure, but in a good way.
Yeah.
We weren't going to make you do it if you weren't comfortable or if you were slipping on it and for whatever reason the knife tires didn't grab or something along those lines, right? Like we wouldn't have said, "Oh, you've got to hammer it and get up." That would be cruel, right?
That'd be Luke, not cruel. That'd be Luke. Us normal guys understand.
You know what? I think if Luke was there, the weekend probably would have ended slightly different. I probably would have broken a lot more shit because, hands down, Luke's reputation, when I wheel with Luke, something always breaks. And when it breaks, it breaks.
So,
I don't know. He hasn't wheeled with you since the rebuild of everything. I
spun my tie rod clamp, and that kind of ruined that.
Oh, yeah.
We blew up the PSC Hydro Ram.
Blew this. So Luke's. I'm gonna put this on Luke's plate. This is what he's responsible for me. He blew up my PCS RAM or PSC RAM. He destroyed my my locker, my Dana 30, as well as one of my brake lines.
Yep.
That's more Graham though. I think the brake line.
That was a good time.
I broke the brake lead.
Yeah, because I was on that brake trying to pull you out of those big ass rocks because you just happened to find that big hole up there.
Yeah, that's my fault.
But yeah, the couple times that I've wheeled with Luke, it's never ended well. provides a good story, but it's never ended well.
I 100% agree. Saturday's kibosh that happened on the bottom of Trail 5 would have happened. No, Sunday's kibosh on Trail 5 would have happened on Saturday. No doubt in my mind if Luke was there.
See, now this is where you guys got to clue me in. Remember, I wasn't there on Sunday, and I know it was rainy.
Yeah,
and the kind of
morning.
The like, hey, this is our last real day. Let's let it all hang out.
Yep.
Graham blew the 50. We'll just cut to the chase on that.
I saw the video of that. Oh god.
So what was the itinerary?
Roll through it quickly because technically people just heard this in the last episode.
Yeah. Okay. So itinerary was we hit Rock Creek. We did a couple other little things here and there, but it wasn't really notable. Rock Creek was sort of like everybody sort of had said. It's fun. It's good for pictures. It's cool. Like we got the lineup. I think I changed my my background recently to that picture I grabbed of that. It's a cool photo, but it's just brutal to drive through there, especially on like 37s, just smashing everything. And right at the very end, I debeaded a tire because I stuffed it in rocks and turned the hydro, and it just grabbed it and ripped it off.
The normal thing.
So yeah,
nothing new.
So like it's the Colin special, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's got
it's
bead
a
luck
mix
now.
You see, he's gonna start blowing the inner beads out, and Graham's gonna keep blowing beads. It's
Yeah,
just to be expected.
Beads. I don't blow that many. That one.
No, you just blow tires.
She was in my passenger seat. That thing was jammed in a rock. I turned it, and then it let all the air out. It was fine.
Big surprise! You jammed it in a rock.
Found the only hole in the goddamn place.
I mean, it was
It's
a
Graham.
tricky spot.
But
I was bound up.
But to Graham's point, I was watching my footage, and there was I think 2 obstacles, and it was Yellow Jacket was one of them, where you literally walked through like it was nothing. Tombstone was the other one. Yeah. You literally walked up that obstacle like it was nothing. And then I got hemmed up. I was Graham in this case. I found that hole and I got stuck in it.
Everyone finds that hole sometimes, and they get screwed up.
Some people just find it a lot more than others.
Yeah. See, if my issue is if I try to follow somebody and their Jeep isn't the same dimensions as mine, I tend to I get this false confidence that that's where I need to go. Whereas if I'm in the front, I've noticed I tend to not make those dumb decisions. And
Yellow Jack is the perfect example of that.
I know. I don't know how the hell I did that. Right? I just picked that line and it just walked it.
You and John both, I think, walked it like it was nothing, and then the rest of us struggled, right?
Johnny, okay, to be fair, Johnny watched everybody else do it, and I also spotted him through the whole thing. So
you'll get your accolades later. I have plenty of good things to say about you for once.
Nice, I'll take it. Even just right there, I'll take that shit. I'm good to go. But
he kept me from flipping on walk in the park?
I think that's the name of the trail. Yeah.
Yeah, coming down off that, I got teetering on a rock, and Cody was just like, you know what? If you get to a certain point, throttle out, and I'm like, that's totally not my style, but okay.
It's very weird when you start driving with both pedals on that side of the thing, and suddenly now you're like, okay, we have to hit the gas not to roll. That shit's fun.
I think that was the only real obstacle where I probably had to pull the seat out of my ass. Like that one. Oof.
To be fair, the only reason I even knew that was because, and again, I think we talked about this on the last episode, but when I was with Curtis, like we went into it, and I just felt the whole body of the Jeep just start to go and go and go, and like there was no stopping it. And then he just rolled forward like 6 inches, and it was just enough that he just went bloop right back down. So that's why I knew with like you guys and Miguel, or with you and Miguel, just like, hey, if you start to get to that point, just go forward. You'll be mint. And yeah,
don't worry about Miguel. Fucking let Miguel roll his shit. He's got to pop that cherry at some point.
Roll. He'll be good.
That's a nice rig. I like the way that I know you guys have talked about it, but the way his suspension geometry in the front is awesome. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually, speaking of suspension geometry, something really cool. I went to a car show yesterday with my grandfather, and he has a buddy who did drag racing for fucking years. And I was just talking with him because I was fixing my my caster was off, so I was adjusting it. And he was like, "Oh shit, that's pretty cool." He's like, "Back in the day, I used to have that on my Corvette." Blah 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 blah. Like, just went fucking off the deep end about how like the suspension geometry based off of this and separation, yada yada yada. And I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty similar. We use the same sort of technology, or not technology, but the same sort of ideas that drag racers use, but in a different sense. Because they want separation to push, or not separation. They want the suspension to push downwards to keep the body level and put as much traction to the ground, where we want an in-between, so that way it doesn't just fucking push the whole body over, but still like finds traction." He was like, I got a book that I'll give you that explains all of that. I'm like, oh, fucking cool. So he's giving me a book that like explains how the different like lengths and all of that separation and 4-length based off of XYZ and the fucking square root of 69, like, I don't even think there's a square root for that. Anyways, I'm getting a book that explains all that, so I'll be a little bit more knowledgeable soon here.
So,
the more you know.
When are you going to be opening the hack shop?
The hack shop.
He's got the ABC book of 4 links now, so anytime now.
Dude, just call me Rockcox or Cockslayer or whatever. I'll be the next one. I got you, boy.
You got to come up with a new creative name. That one's already taken.
Well, it could be something about pegging, because that's what I've been fucking known for the past week. So, like, oh god, Mark,
what you don't even know in the last week that I don't know about?
You'll have to wait and listen
see on Thursday.
Oh, it's a fucking.
I'll be waiting. Can't wait.
It's gonna be bad.
It's bad. It's fine though. I don't actually get pegged, just to clarify, but I could say that for.
Well, you did disappear
that's
at
up for
Rausch.
interpretation. That is very much up in the air. You don't have to deny it if it actually happens. We won't judge you.
And this is exactly why it doesn't matter what I say. Nobody's gonna fucking believe me.
I was gonna say at Rausch you disappeared. Hey guys, I'll be right back. Putting the girlfriend.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, next morning, no Cody. Where'd he go?
He was feeling a little sore. He couldn't go back to the fire.
That's right. You were limping a little bit in the morning there.
Jesus.
Caitlin, if you ever listen to this episode, fuck you. This is what you started. Yes, I brought it up, but she started it.
So back to off-roading. What about your Jeep surprised you the most this weekend? Because I'm kind of curious about that. I'm great at being a terrible influence, but I want to hear what my terrible influence has led to.
Which what?
No,
what about your Jeep? Yeah.
Oh. What about his Jeep surprised him the most, or what Jeep surprised him the most?
What about his Jeep surprised him the most? And then I went into my diatribe about being terrible, because when we met him, he was on 33 no-name tires with, I think, an IRO 3-link, and we just kind of played through his golf game.
I don't know, to be honest, like, at the time, I don't think I could say any one thing, but like looking back on the footage, I use a lot less throttle than anybody.
Okay.
I'm not a throttle person, so I think you could say what you want about the knife tires. They do pretty good. They're obviously not stickies.
They ain't no grabbers, boy.
They're better than mine in some cases. They seem like they grab a surprising amount. I'll give them credit.
They do pretty good for what they are.
Yeah, so, knife tires.
Knife tires.
Well, it also helps that he's 4-linked in the rear. He's 3-linked up front. You know, you've got leaf springs. Say what you want about leaf springs. They work. But there are certain times where the mathematical properties of a 4-link do come into play.
The flex definitely helped, I think.
My leafs flex plenty. Just because Luke's didn't doesn't mean
true.
that is bad.
That is true, though. The difference between Graham's leafs, my leafs, and Luke's leafs, it's like Goldilocks. You got Graham, then you got me, and you got Luke. Like, Graham's flex, mine bend in the back, and then Luke's went like 2 inches up and down.
I got a good picture, I think, of Graham on Yellow Jacket doing like the crisscross flex. And I'm like, damn, those look pretty good for leafs. I mean,
yeah,
like,
I know.
Your axles, like, flex pretty good.
I didn't do anything special. I just have the no lift relocation brackets and like a 2-inch shackle, and the same one Colin has, and Clayton Leaf's. Nothing special. It's just basic stuff that.
Clarify, a 2-inch lift shackle, right? Not like
Yes.
like okay. I thought you meant for a second like hole to hole was only like 2 inches. I'm like, how the fuck?
No,
Like,
it's a lift.
That's
It's a
what
lift
they
shackle.
stock.
yeah.
It's just the crown one. It's they're beefy. I had JKS ones that I squished into a
Pretzel.
Z shape.
Yeah, I remember that. That
The
was
crown
my
ones are
bell.
beefy. Yep.
So clarify though, we broke Leafs this past weekend at Rausch. We didn't break any 4-links.
No, but
superior?
I'm the same exact wheelbase, just maybe not exact. I'm pretty damn close to Colin's setup. He has the same shackles as I do. He's actually the one who recommended I get the shackles I have. His relocation box is not the no lift. It's a different style.
It's the lift.
But his yeah, he's got the lift one from HD Off Road, which I don't believe makes any of their stuff anymore, which is a shame because they make good
The
shit.
ones I had.
Yeah.
That's the ones Kish has too. He's got the HD off-road lift shackles, but he's just too lazy to put them in. So we're gonna throw him under the bus again.
I know a really good
7
install
days
video.
a week. Fuck off.
Oh yeah.
So I worked 7 days a week while I was building fucking Barry, and then I lived at the shop.
I have to take time off of work to meet Graham to give him your shit.
I'm sorry. It has to happen at some point.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh man, train of thought has left the station.
Right off the rails. Back to wheeling. So, what was the favorite obstacle there? Because there's a lot of fun ones there. Mine's still going to be Crawdaddy because that is... I've got a vendetta against... Or not Crawdaddy, I'm sorry, Crawler Ridge. Why do they name everything Crawl? It's like it's a fucking off-road park or something.
Crawl Daddy, this year was underwhelming. I don't know
Crawler
if we hit on
Ridge
it.
is the one that I was talking about.
Yeah, we didn't even hit
or
that.
last time.
The day to hit it would have been Saturday, and I don't even know where it was on the map. I don't think it's actually labeled. So
Like Crawler Ridge? I think that's over. I think that's on the other side. From where we were at the end of the day on Saturday.
Well,
I
with
want
how
to say it's
big-
somewhere in the middle, but that means nothing. I don't know.
With
where
how
it
big
is.
the park is, it's not hard to be just a little bit away and still be a couple like miles theoretically away, if
Yep.
you will. I know it might not actually be miles, but still, it's it's a 4,300 acre park. The place is huge, so yeah.
Yeah, the layout is kind of it's like it's got some chutes, right? It goes, I feel like, one direction with O Trail and
Yellow
Trail 5
Jacket.
Hill Climb and Yellow Jacket and all that stuff. It like there's one offshoot that has a bunch of stuff.
Then
Now-
Pole Pat, or what's the one? Pole
Trail.
Pole Trail
Trail.
goes
Why?
another
That's
direction.
like a main artery too.
And I
Yep.
can still tell you how to get to Rock Creek from Yellow Jacket. It's BJH, because I chuckled to myself because it said BJ. And I still remember it somehow.
You're such a child. Such a child.
I remembered it.
Go back to getting pegged. We adults talking over here.
Ah, fuck.
We're talking wheeling, and you're over here talking BJs. Go back to.
Shit.
I need another beer.
Funny.
We are terrible. Like truly the
Yeah.
worst.
It's
But,
I wouldn't have it any other way.
very true.
but like for me, the part that I really like about Rausch though is you can hit your hill climbs and then you can hit the obstacles where I forget what the name of it is. It's over by Brain, please work. It's over in the corner. It's where Jason almost put his Jeep on its side. Graham will remember this, and I believe Graham's the only one that's going to
Are you
remember
talking about
it.
Tombstone?
Not Tombstone. It was early in the day when he basically drove it onto its side on those ledges where we were all fucking around the first day, right after or right before you had left to go and fix your fuel line.
Or I had left.
Yeah.
That would have been the Jitters Way section. Because
Yeah,
I
it
believe
was
all we did
over
was
in
Jitters
that-
Way.
All right, then it might have been right afterwards. we were over in that, and this guy's driving his Jeep to the point where he's basically putting it on its side. We had to push with a couple of people to get the cage unstuck because the cage got caught on a rock that was on the side. So this rock was wedged in between the windshield bar and the I'm gonna call it like the halo bar on a Wrangler or a CJ's thing. So he was pretty far over there. But like that whole area is wickedly fun, and there's a lot of climbs where you go up 6 feet in vertical height, but you're climbing maybe 7 to 10 feet up these rock ledges to like drop back down. It's a really fun little like amusement park in that section, and that's what I really like about that whole damn park is there's so many lines that you can take.
It's definitely a different feel because like I think the stuff there is probably more extreme than what I could say I'm used to, but the grip was unbelievable compared to what we see up here in this area, like the north, like I'd call it the Northeast, but like Mass and Connecticut. It's that rock was like grit. I mean, it literally was like great.
You
like,
could see
like,
it in the rock, like
yeah.
it was like concrete almost.
Like Trail 5, the hill climb. We're like, whoo, this thing's like steep. And we literally, like, I don't think, except for Colin, had to like literally use any real throttle to get up the hill.
Nope.
And Colin just wanted to make it exciting.
After it was a little wet.
After it was wet,
a lot of Jeeps.
I
wish you were there. That was fun.
I was packing up, and then I started feeling the rain come down. I'm like, oh god, today's gonna be rough.
We were scared. Like
it was. Sorry.
Nope.
I'm sorry.
Nope. Let's see your points.
So, it actually wasn't that bad. Surprisingly, we actually got away on Sunday with like it was raining pretty hard in the morning, and then it just kind of sprinkled the whole rest of the day. Other than that, it really was not that bad.
Yep.
There's some stuff there that I definitely wouldn't do if it was wet. I think.
Yeah.
There's some stuff we skipped. We didn't go back to O Trail. We didn't go back to. I mean, we went back to Trail 5, but no. But Curtis didn't try that far right line that he was planning on doing last day
because he's a bitch and he pussies
because he could barely make it up the line he walked.
He
Friday.
did. He got drunk and said, "Fuck it, my buddy's driving." He didn't even fucking try. So fuck that guy. Didn't he?
With that far right line, the one that he was like, "I'm coming back tomorrow. I'm going to hit this." Yes.
Yeah.
He didn't hit that one.
Bitch that.
I mean, even the Stickies they didn't have trouble going up the main line that we'd walked earlier, but they had to heat the tires up before they actually stuck, and then they walked it. Whereas that was not the case previously.
It's funny because after watching some of the footage, because I'm editing my video, the obstacle after we did, what the hell is it? Was it Jitters Way? The one where only Curtis did.
Yeah.
That like rock climb where he had to get his passenger tire super high up, and he like fell into place. Remember, like, he failed. He was about to go up on 3 tires. He threw it in reverse, popped back in. He literally fell into the correct position. I was like looking at that. I was like, you know what? I kind of wish I tried that. Even just put tires on it.
You should have.
I should have.
You should have.
Yeah, with 40s, I think you probably
I may not
some
have
obstacles
finished it, but I probably would have gotten most of the way up that. I don't know the name of that obstacle.
Sounds like my sex life.
I don't know what the
pegging extraordinaire.
So do you have like a special name for it? Do you call it like the silver bullet or something? I mean, really, like it keeps coming up.
Oh my god, I meant more than
He keeps
like
bringing it
starting
back.
the adventure. I meant more like starting the adventure and not finishing it. Okay, fuck. You guys.
What's your favorite color?
Is that something you got to polish between uses or what?
He's got to give it the old spit shine.
Before use. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
We're
Cody.
going to hell.
Good lord.
Hey,
It's my own damn fault.
I mean, at least we can give Mark credit. He brought his Jeep.
You know,
that
whoa! That's a whole lot of talk from the asshole who didn't even fucking show up. So suck my dick. At least I was there. So
He ain't
How's-
wrong.
Yeah. So
I don't want you to finish my Jeep in time because I'm gonna add all this other bullshit for you to do, and I don't have any place to store it anyways.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did finish the storage problem though, or I did fix the storage problem though.
Perfect.
So I can now have a place to store it, or my trailer and my truck. Depends on what I'm driving that week. But yeah, one of my coworkers has 30 acres, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't care if you store your Jeep there. I'm trying to figure out how to build a 3-link suspension. You know anything about that?"
Perfect. Sounds like a
How
deal.
much time do you got?
How much time do you have? How much time do you want to dedicate? And what is our budget? And yeah, so I'm going to be going over there and building a 3-link soon. But yeah, living next to Harlan does have its perks.
finally,
Still got to rub it in.
Or not Harlan, wow, I'm sorry. AOP and Windrock. Harlan's 3 hours away. My bad.
That's not bad. That's pretty sick.
I've been watching videos of that property, Black Mountain. I'm excited.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna be wild.
I'm gonna wish I had 40s like I have this entire year.
You have 40s.
I know.
Put
I
them on your
know.
fucking Jeep.
I
You have
can't.
them.
Start
I
cutting.
can't.
Yes, you
I'm
can.
not.
Yes, you can.
I'm at a point with my Jeep where it does awesome as it sits, and any work I'm going to do to it is going to be purposeful and actually make it better and not just destroy it. Right? I could put 40s on it right now, but I'd have to chop and ruin some of the work I've done and not take into account other things. And I don't want to do that.
It's fine.
I want to
Just cut.
make it last a little bit.
Just cut.
No, you
cut
get to
more.
a point where what you have is okay.
I
It
gotta
does
cut
everything
more.
everything that the 40 boys do for the most part, I can do. They're just a couple things that the wheelbase and 37s don't allow for.
And
And
this
I do
is
get
what
mad
it
at
felt
those,
like
but-
following you guys around on 35s when I had Barry in almost stock form. It's like watching you two, Colin and fucking Grembo, just go bombing up the fucking trail, and here I go, having to follow them up this. Let's see what we can do to these poor Dana 30 U-joints now.
Mm.
It's kind of a shame you never actually got to see that phase of my Jeep's life. It was probably the most nimble my Jeep's ever been.
And now it's just a
has.
fat fuck.
He has. It's literally just my Jeep, but blue. What have we taught? Like, it's literally almost
Yeah, but he's also
Yeah,
got more driver mod. No offense.
more
you-
driver.
yeah,
mod.
this-
But your Jeep never
Goes
showed up
under
to
Richie's-
Rausch, so I didn't get a chance to really see it.
Goes to
Sorry.
Richie's property, drives sideways on the hill, and wonder why he almost rolls.
I did great. What are you talking about?
Yes, we will get you your participation trophy. Would you like it in brass, gold, or silver? And
Either, you gross fuck. Exactly what you're insinuating. You're disgusting.
I live in the
sneaky
Bible
one.
Belt. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a good Christian boy now.
Oh my lord.
Sure.
Fuck.
Uh,
Jesus.
Yeah, that's what you have to say down here. We could even call it the Holy Spirit.
Holy Jesus fucking Christ.
Just feel it inside you. The Holy Spirit.
I'm going home.
And the best part is, you're going to be the first person to hear all of this again, because you're going to be the one editing it.
Yep. Oh
Well,
yeah.
they'll just cut. There'll just be like a missing 15-minute section of the podcast, and it'll be like, "Oh, weird. Thought this
Oh,
was
now
a
we're
long
back.
episode, and it was only 45 minutes. I wonder what happened." Just awkward pauses because he cuts out every single mention of it.
Wait,
I have
so
enough confidence in myself to not do
No,
that.
sure you do.
I have a question
If
here.
it's about the fucking pegging, I swear to God, Richie. Go ahead.
Let him
Say
talk.
it. Say it.
It's
What's
not-
it about?
so we keep getting videos pulled off of YouTube for swearing,
Yeah.
right? Same thing go for pegging?
I told him to say it. I said say it. Then just a little boop. Oh, no, Richie.
And just like Caitlin, he's back.
Cody, was that you?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know
that's me.
what?
That was awesome.
Oh God, we are terrible children. Back to the wheeling.
Yes, please.
Oh, is that what we're here for?
I believe so. I
thought
think
this
we've covered
was the
Cody's
begging
begging.
podcast. Am I on the
Say
wrong
it
one?
again, Richie.
That's Wednesdays, Richie.
Oh, shit.
God damn it. I'm going home.
So,
Hey, you took it in Rausch more ways than one. You can get through
You want
this,
it
no
next?
problem.
You want it next month? I'll kick you too. All right. Anyways, I wish
The minute you pulled up, you opened, and there he goes.
fuck you.
welcome
Fuck all
back,
of you.
bud.
You forgot to relinquish my perms, then I wouldn't be able to come back in.
I'm not going to relinquish your perms. It was just for the meme.
But I wish you got to do the comp course because
Oh, the
on
conference was
Sunday-
awesome.
Sunday night we played around a little bit on it, and it was fucking cool. Like, even Miguel's father got to play around on some of it, and he was surprised with how much just grip was there. It was
It's so dumb. Like, it is stupid what you can drive up. On the note of, like, how we peer pressured Mark into this, my first time on the comp course, I was following around an XJ with a 14 bolt and the Dana 60 on Maxxis creepy crawlies with beadlocks, and we felt like king shits because we were doing that. And then we got out on the trail and became a mockery.
Jesus Christ.
It was cooler on the comp course, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely nice to save the comp course as like a after the fact thing because it's
It is kind of fun to hit it on the first night, though, because that gives you, like, that big old confidence boost that you rapidly lose. Like, just pop the bubble real quick. And that's at
but
Rausch.
I'd rather think I've got more traction than I do. I'd rather not see what real traction looks like going out to Moab level sticky versus Rausch, right?
Yeah, I can
Like,
agree
comp
with
course
that.
is like unrealistic. I don't need to set my standards to the comp course level of stickiness and then just be disappointed by lack of traction. I already have plenty of that here in New England.
Lots of disappointment is available readily, freely, and cheaply. Hey,
That's why
did
you
you
need-
break anything?
See, I destroyed a Johnny joint for my upper control arm in the front. I got a
That
nice
is-
little... Yep, and I'm still waiting for that to show up, the replacement.
You'll be waiting for a while.
And then I got a nice, probably cantaloupe-sized dent in my driver's side fender.
That's fine.
Driver's side front fender.
We're
Trying to
we're
get
not
at the back
talking
half
about
and shoot the...
we're not talking about body damage.
Oh, then
body damage
yeah.
is fine.
Really just the mount. I mean, it's nice. Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, I think that's probably why I had such a confidence boost at Rausch, because, like, I had the trailer, I surrounded by you guys, trying to push me to the next level in a good way. In the, like, no matter what, I was getting home. As long, I could leave it on the trail and have my fun. And
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good part about trailering is suddenly it's like, oh, yeah, I can be cool today.
See, I don't think mine was undrivable. The hub's still unlocked. The 50 is blown up, so it doesn't matter anyways.
You blew up a fucking ring gear. What do
Yeah,
you
in the
mean it was
50. I have unlockable hubs.
Yeah, you just twist the hubs and you go down the road. It's not a big deal, man. Worst case scenario, you just pop the hubs out. Fucking drive her home.
Yes,
I
but
wouldn't.
that's just...
I'd leave the hubs in.
No, but I'm saying, like, if you have a catastrophic failure of the hub where that's
I'd
destroyed
pull the
too.
drive shaft before I
yeah,
pull the hub.
you gotta pull the drive shaft.
Yeah.
If you can.
Because I think usually that's. I guess the
Oh,
it's
still
gonna
locked.
pick up some rotation from.
Because I've had,
it
I've popped
would've been fine.
the,
We'd open it up, clean it out. Yeah, good.
Have you opened up the front yet to take a look?
No, it's still sitting in Cody's driveway because I don't have a truck to come scoop it, and I feel really bad about that. and
Hey.
is become. I already called him and talked to him yesterday. It's like, hey, I know it's still in your driveway. If that's an issue, I can't
Cody,
take it.
Just beat
But
him up.
if you're willing to tow it,
Beat him up.
I'll pay you to do that. And he was
I
like, no,
still-
it's totally fine. So we
To
left
be
it there.
fair, I still owe him money for the tea case that's sitting behind Marvell's house. So like, I have no room to beat him up. But no, like, I would have brought it to you by now already if my truck was good. If my truck was good, I wouldn't have given a shit. I would have ran it up to you, no problem. But I have not decided what I'm doing with the whole knock sensor situation. I'm not even.
You're not going to fix it?
No, but I don't know if I want to do it or if I just want to send it somewhere and just say fuck it, because I have a warranty and it's under the warranty. But like, the problem with the warranty is that it's an outside company that does the warranty. So a lot of places when I go to explain it are like, yeah, that's fucking sketchy. No. So, but it's not sketchy because like according to somebody else that I know that has the same thing used it, and they sent a check over like immediately within a few days. But it's that thing that like, I don't know the company personally. It's just a part of my truck loan. So it's like this weird gray area. So I'd rather have the money on my end available for that in case they fuck up, and then they just send me the check later on to reimburse. I don't want any weird gray area for that. But yeah, at some point it'll be fixed, but not right now. That's why the Jeep is now fixed. Fixed.
You gotta get a goddamn steering box because I'm tired of hearing about it.
I have a steering box in it and it's fine. It's the my caster is off, and
Steering wheel is also very crooked, by the way. Like 90 degrees out of whack.
Steering wheels don't mean shit when you're off road. Just
the guy
He was on the road.
4 cubes over. That's
Driving
his
straight.
fault. He was my alignment guy. So the autistic one was my alignment guy.
I'm not-
With the tape measure into my balls.
Yeah, and then you changed the track bar. Don't go blaming me. You could have fixed that
No,
shit
it's-
on your own.
It's been like that since
Marvell.
then, but I just don't care.
Marvell's fault.
Yep,
Nah,
we're blaming
I just
Marvell. Right
yeah,
under the
fuck
bus.
it. We'll definitely blame Marvell.
I'll take the blame before that, but after it was touched by you and Marvell, it's, that situation got
That
pegged by you
warranty's out
two.
the window. There's no
Yeah.
more guarantees.
I was gonna say my warranty ends at the minute you drive out of my driveway. The warranty's out over. So
Yeah, we did a burnout coming out of the shop, and that was the end of the warranty. It died in some tire smoke.
It's still going. It's still going.
What?
That Jeep does
Here.
make me happy, though.
My shitbox is still rocking and rolling somehow. The fact that Badlands was the test run, like it had
2
survived
years in a row.
Yeah, and it's good. I mean, the Theheim Joint that I bought from Amazon just because I needed it is starting to already blow up. But I mean, it is what it is. Like, I can't expect greatness from like, I think it was like a $20 fucking. Actually, I don't even think it was that expensive. I think it's like a $17 Theheim Joint. So in reality, I'm happy with it. But it is starting to. The collar is. I don't know if it's just.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
don't think I've never used like a super budget Heim joint. I've always just grabbed the ones off Barnes or Rough Stuff, and I've never had an issue with them. I've
What
never
a-
had one go
that-
they're
bad.
noisy
I've
as hell,
seen
but
them.
they work.
I've seen them go bad, or not them specifically, but Heims go bad. But I've never personally had one go bad.
Yeah, and like
Again,
I would have bought in like a good one. I would have bought in the tube and the Heims off of Barnes or Rough Stuff, but none of them could promise that they could get it to me in time. I had a 3-week window. They could not promise it. I was not taking the chance.
If all
that's
you're
why-
doing from Barnes has got like they'll ship it in, at least to us in our area, it's like 3-4 days you'll have it usually. Rough Stuff for us is a little bit, it depends on what you're buying. If you're getting a bunch of stuff, it generally takes longer. If you're just getting like odds and end, a couple Heims, usually a week. It's not too bad.
Yeah, the problem was it was in the middle of summer where every company was saying shit was in stock, but it really fucking wasn't. And then they wouldn't email you until the day it was supposed to be delivered saying, "Hey, this isn't in stock. It's going to take an XYZ amount of days on top of it just to get it." So luckily, Mark's beautiful face had the DOM that I needed, and Amazon had the shitty Heim joints that fell into place, and It works. I mean, shit. Like the best part is I could just buy a Heim joint. I literally just all I need is the Heim joint itself, and I could just put it into the bung and get the fucking misalignment spacers, and I'm good to go.
Yeah, as long as the thread,
I could make
the
another
thread pitch is
joke
right.
there, but I'm not going to. I'm going to behave myself.
Fucking hate this guy. Who invited him?
Dude, you put up such a good front at Rausch with you not bringing the Jeep, and literally everybody who saw you every 5 minutes was like, "Where's your Jeep?"
Dude, Sean, you're right. Sean was the worst. Sean and JD
Sean?
were on my ass about it so bad. But I get it. Like, I give them to the most shit, especially Badlands. Me giving Sean shit for not bringing he was planning to not bring his Jeep. I can understand that. And JB, I just heckle him all the time because we're kind of in the same boat. Our Jeeps are very similar right now, except for he has a cage, so he can do more fun stuff. Well, can do more fun stuff. But yeah, they were giving me a hard time about that a lot. Like every 10 minutes, ooh, where's your Jeep? Ooh.
Yeah,
That's
where's your
right.
Jeep, Cody? Says the
It's
guy
actually
that hasn't wheeled in a fucking year.
He was driving it. It's driving.
Yeah, I drove it today actually, and it's
Better than mine.
good, but it needs love. The whole steering system needs an evaluation, and a new box and a new pump and a.
Just put the fucking box in.
I don't have the box yet, but speaking of which, Mark, please send me over the info for that steering box brace.
I gotta see if I think they might have actually yanked it off.
You motherfucker! You got me all excited for this. Good.
I gotta see if I can find it. I'll find it. A $90 Iron Man knockoff. Hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
Damn.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Instead of
Dude, I paid $96 shipped for an Iron Man knockoff.
Oh my god!
Best
that's
96
insane.
bucks I ever spent. I'm sorry, Andy, if you're listening to this. Iron Man, fuck. I'm sorry. Great box or great add-on.
Yeah, their second iteration of the Iron Man box brace is like definitely the best version. I got into an argument with somebody on Facebook, which I don't generally do. But there was somebody who was talking about the Iron Man brace. I was like, no, what are you talking about? The Boosterworks one is better. It's got more bracing. It's just a stronger design in general. And they were like, no, they made a second version, and it's got more adjustability, and it's just as strong as the Boostwork, if not stronger. And I looked at it and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll agree. The second iteration is superior to the Boostworks.
I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't realize that they were only like $300. Okay, that's not that bad. I could have swore they were like $600. Yeah, that's well worth it. Last I thought they were like $500 to $600. To me, that's what I was like. Fuck, dude. Like
You might have seen their kit, which is like their spacer, their support brace, and their plates and all that other bullshit.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. My next thing is probably gonna be just full hydro. Like,
it's funny you said that. Like Curtis and Miguel and Brianna made a good case for it, and I think even Miguel's dad. But like watching how little clearance you have with those was like really kind of off-putting for me. Like they hit that ram guard on everything.
yeah,
like, literally.
Those ram guards get messed up. You have to properly brace them. Like you come down off a drop and you hit that.
To be honest, mine is probably not going to be an off the shelf, and it's probably going to be another single-ended ram like what I had on Ducky. So
now, if you had a kingpin,
but just run a full ram off the axle.
Yeah,
and no linkage off a box.
Just no linkage off the box, just the hydraulic setup, and run it right down to the axle. Do some
But
high
still have a
steer
tie rod.
arms. Yeah, with the tie rod.
I mean, that's what
That
Ryan
might
does.
work.
He hasn't really had any problems that I know of with it. So I mean, I don't see why not.
I did it on Ducky. It was fine on Ducky. Like, it's just one of those things, though, where it's like, I've plated that whole area on my frame already. And yes, I should have had the brace in there. But I had to go through and plate, like, Graham can attest, he's been under the Jeep. It's plated all the way from, like, the midpoint on the coil bucket to the front of the frame rail. And I went through and did all of that just to try and save it. And I feel like, not for nothing, but I could have just done better and gone full hydro, being the next step.
How does this actually brace the steering box if it goes from the bottom. It doesn't limit the travel of the top, though.
It's double shear.
What do you mean double shear?
It means that
it
there's
clamps on to the top of the sector shaft as it comes out of the box, and then at the bottom of the sector shaft, underneath the box.
Okay, gotcha. I was gonna say because it seems it will still be able to pull out, but no, that makes sense.
If you think about it, the sector shaft in its stock form sticks out probably about 3 inches, and all the forces on the bottom of that sector shaft.
Yeah.
And then that kind of transfers all the pressure or whatnot to the box, and the box is what pulls it off the.
I do have to say another part of my griping is the fact that at this point in time I'm on my I'm on the second pitman arm where I've just worn the pitman arm out. Like, you shouldn't have a sloppy pitman arm, but my pitman arms end up getting sloppy as shit.
So that's partially because you don't have a brace, because that helps reduce the movement that the whole sector shaft has, so then your pitman arm isn't wiggling and changing positions as well, because that's going to mess it up. If you've seen, I changed the pillow bushing on mine out. It was probably in there for...
Yeah, yours was fucked.
3.5 years. That thing was destroyed
Graham,
when I pulled it out.
Get me some measurements.
It's not a small bearing. It's a beefy bearing, and it was fucked.
Get me some measurements. By the way, I just remembered that I have to replace my lines, so I'll order them in, and then I can either swap those, or I can get them shipped up to you, and you can swap them, but I'll probably just end up doing that, because I can do it here.
Hydro lines?
Yeah. One of my hydro lines is pretty chewed up. It ate a rock.
Okay.
It's a snowplow line. Just let me know. I can get it for pretty cheap.
Yeah, they're snowplow lines. I forget what they are. I think they're 34s.
34 inches?
Yeah.
That's short.
It's enough.
I think I'm 40.
Mine come down
42?
You're a little taller than he is, though.
That's true. Yeah.
Also, your ram's mounted in a different spot. Mine comes down, and mine's mounted off of almost the passenger side of the diff, or the driver's side of the diff cover.
Mm-hmm.
It's mounted off of the earliest point where it's like full plate, like where you get that flat section on my cover, with a big old 3/4 bolt through it, because I went with the surplus center ram, because I'm a poor bastard, and somehow it's still holding up.
Hey, that all works.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, my hydro assist setup is awesome. I'm not complaining about that, but it's the amount of toll that has been taken on the unibody from the steering box itself between driving Barry as it was with no hydraulic assist, driving it with the hydraulic assist, and killing the boxes the way that I did.
Ooh.
So
all this hydro assist talk's got me. Sorry to cut you off. It's got me thinking about Fall Crawl from last weekend. So I didn't bring my rig, obviously, because it's in Springfield and broken. But the group I was with.
You didn't bring your Jeep to the wheeling event? Oh.
No, I didn't, because it was broken.
Don't you got a pegging event to attend?
Anyways, so I was riding along with Sean in his buggy, which we all know needs a lot of work. Sean openly admits the thing is there's a lot it needs. But it was regardless, it was fun. We learned a lot about that rig. It was really fun seeing Sean do a lot of those obstacles with some spotting. And granted, it's field and forest. There's a ton of winching as well. We also discovered that his tires are not sticky at all. They're more like hard plastic, and they don't grab anything. So
Rausch lied to him?
Yeah. Anyways, the big thing I noticed was there was nobody there in our group had hydro. A couple of people did, but there was a good chunk of people there that didn't have. I was going to say users from IT, but anyways.
The professional Graham is speaking.
Yeah, users. I'm talking about the users here. The users didn't have their hydro assist, and they were like, right? They had all this other stuff. They had brand new. It was funny. They had the not general grabbers, the BFG blue labels or whatever the DOT ones are. they had all the same tires, except for one guy had the sticky versions. They didn't have hydro assist. They had like blinged out bead locks. They had all sorts of accessories bolted on these things, like tons and tons of money. And they didn't have like a $300 hydro assist kit. And that was what they needed to get up some of these lines. Like, all they needed to do was to be able to turn their tires without moving the Jeep, and they would have been able to stay on the line. It was a slick day, and traction wasn't great. But if you could at least stay where you're supposed to be, and you can predict where the tire is supposed to go because you have the hydro assist that doesn't care what's in the way, yeah, it was frustrating. Hydro assist is...
It's funny. It's funny you say that because like one of the biggest takeaways I had from going to Rausch is that I like my hydro assist. I've already upgraded from my normal WJ's pump to the upgraded fan-driven hydro assist. I'm sorry, WJ pump.
The
hydro
WJ thing that.
And I honestly think I want to go do a bigger ram, like because I have the smaller ram. The smaller was it the 1.5?
Yeah, the 1.5.
I think I'm gonna take that off and sell it and go up to the next one up.
I have to ask a dumb question before you get there. I'm running a stock XJ pump with a similar size RAM. I have a 1.5 RAM. I don't have like any complaints about my power with it, and I've got 40s. Did you drill your fitting out?
We were talking about this at Rausch.
It's funny you say that. So, I originally had drilled it out one step under what Texas, the Texas Red Hit, West Texas suggest. So it's not the full thing. And my steering was super pitchy, like especially at speed. And when I was driving on the road, the RAM was a little overactive. It was suggested to me to try going back to the stock fitting. I went back to the stock fitting, and the road manners became much more manageable, became more of a normal driving experience. However, at lower idle and on the trail, I suffered a little bit. And I think, like, I to be honest, and that's how I took it to Rausch, I was fatigued at the end of the day. I was exhausted. I think especially on Saturday, I was exhausted because constantly...
I don't know.
Fighting it still.
I was fighting the steering wheel, and I was watching Graham and Colin. I was watching back at some of the video. You guys are just...
Yep.
Like,
I actually wore a hole in my steering wheel from Rausch, which I was talking to Caleb, like, we were watching my steering wheel degrade. It had a tiny little hole the first day, and you could just, where I palm it is where it just wore away, because I don't have any issues with mine. But I think I have a 1.5-inch RAM. I've got the WJ box, and it's drilled out. And I've got a cooler and a filter on my setup. That's all I've got. It's never been... It's like a tiny bit pitchy when I'm on the highway, but it's never been... The things they're twitchy in general on the highway. With the changes in steering, it's always been that way for me. It's not...
Mine's always been pretty... I don't know. You guys have driven it, and by you guys, I mean Cody, Richie, and Graham. Mine's not terrible going down the road. Like, it's a shitbox, but...
I love you driving your Jeep on the road.
Mine's just a drilled-out stock box with a big-ass cooler.
Luke, yours is the same... I've ran that as... I've driven your Jeep, and I've ran a similar setup. It's the same deal. I mean, when you start putting bigger tires on it, it's going to get a little twitchier, because it's going to... wheel turn is going to make it do more faster.
And like, I guess I might not be super picky about it because I'm like, yeah, it's a shit box on fucking 1-ton axles with 40-inch tall tires. It doesn't handle like it did, but in my honest opinion, it handles about the same as my damn truck. Like,
my trucks drive better than I don't know. The J20 is still up for debate, but the GMC does drive. It's a lot less. The Jeep isn't white knuckle because I'm so used to it, but only because I'm used to it. If I wasn't used to the thing, it would be white knuckle. Just because it doesn't handle like a normal car. It's twitchy, like you said, Mark. Yeah. And
but come to find out too, is because I drilled it the way I did originally, bypass for the pump.
You didn't take all that apart?
I didn't.
Oh, you gotta take all that shit apart.
Really? And like, what bypass and spring thing am I supposed to use? Because
I didn't touch any of that. I pulled all that stuff out of mine, and I just took the actual fitting itself, put the fitting in a lathe, and drilled that fitting out to 5/30 seconds, and put it back together all the exact same way it was.
With the spring and the bypass.
Yep, not touched at all.
I didn't touch that either.
Huh.
So all I did was took the stock fitting out, drilled it to 5/30 second, or I think just under 5/30 seconds. I forgot the spec was. Put it back in, and I remember, I think Richie might even be able to remember this. When I was at his property, when I got everything kind of semi-dialed in, that pump was screaming. Like,
God, it was.
It was screaming. And the reason being is that fitting originally is kind of calibrated for that bypass. And what it was is that the pump was overworking itself, overheating itself. And like, you couldn't even touch my RAM after a couple, 20 minutes of wheeling, because it was super heated up. And I run a cooler.
And that's kind of funny. Like, I'm not saying that it's funny that your shit's not happy, but Graham's got one setup, you've got one setup, I've got one setup, Cody's going to end up with one setup, and Richie's setup is all going to be different because of the individual rigs that they go into. And, like, mine's perfectly fine as a garbage
I thought we were
can.
similar, though, Luke. Like, I thought maybe we had found the secret recipe that was going to work for XJs in general. Like, honestly, like, I feel like what we have is...
It's probably good for 85% of XJs.
Yeah.
Because you can do this and it's perfectly okay, but then you end up in situations like Mark's setup where I'm wondering if Mark's fighting more problems than just the RAM with the twitchiness, because I know we've talked about the caster before with his setup.
Well, that's actually a good point. Where is your drag link connected on the knuckle? Do you have it in the...
On mine?
Because I know there's two spaces on the weld-ons. There's one in line with the tie rod, and you can put it behind the tie rod.
I think mine's in front of the tie rod. Yes, I believe mine's in front of the tie rod to give the clearance between the diff cover and the tie rod more space. So my tie rod is as far out as possible. My drag link is closer as possible.
Closer to the axle.
It's which should make the steering
Which
quicker.
Would make it quicker, which would... Yeah, that would be the
kind
difference.
Of mirror.
I think that's the difference between using an XJ pitman arm and a WJ or Waggy pitman arm, I think it is, which is an 8-inch throw, which would significantly contribute to the twitchiness because you're using it in the 8-inch throw configuration with a 6-inch throw pitman arm. So you're getting the actual throw out of the thing. It's got full steering, but it's going to be twitchier. I technically only have 6 inches of throw, so I've got, classic Cherokee with Super Duty steering. It doesn't steer well at all because I'm not.
No, they don't. They're
fully
big
articulating.
fat pigs.
But
maybe
it's
just need a stabilizer.
That might be it. That might be your twitchiness.
Just get rid of the hydro and just do a stabilizer. It'll be fine.
Well, to be honest, I mean, now that I'm trailering it more, I think I'm going to kind of gear it toward that. I'd rather have faster steering, easier steering, and not really worry so much about the twitchiness at driving at speed, because I honestly don't think I'm going to be driving it much on the road as much.
Yeah.
Also, another point is I have like fucking 9.5 degrees of caster. So my rig has so much goddamn caster that I could probably like not even have it aligned and it wouldn't care.
Negative or positive caster?
The top of my knuckle is rotated back.
So negative 9.
Yes. Negative 9.5.
And that doesn't affect your... That doesn't affect... Yeah.
Well, with hydro, it wouldn't make this...
I didn't say the steering. Let me finish what I'm saying. I'm saying his drive shaft angle. If he's tilted back
it's
that
got
far...
lockouts.
So you just don't give a fuck?
Not
the
even
road
an
don't matter.
iota.
He doesn't have any up travel. It only goes down, and when it goes down, it's going to pivot it down a little bit because it's not a perfect.
No, I guess
It
you're right,
actually
yeah.
holds the
Three-way.
crappy caster angle the whole
Oh
way
my God.
because
No.
it's got the extra long fucking upper in there. I've got a 40-inch
See, this
long
is where you would have
upper.
been better off.
Jesus. Dude, that's what I have for my rear.
My
That's my
rears
uppers at
are
38.
my upper. Yeah, actually, you know what? You're right. I remember that. I have a 39-inch upper up there, and then I've got 38 fives in the back.
Yep.
With 34 and a half for both sets of lower control arms. No,
Mine are-
32 in the rear, 34 up front.
What's your overall wheelbase?
I'm sitting at 100. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I want to say it's 109 and a half.
Okay, so I'm a little longer. Okay.
Dude, I saw a TJ this weekend up at Lake George, and Thursday night I kept seeing him, and like his girl was driving. Every time he'd pass by, I'd scream, "What's your wheelbase?" Mind you, this thing's on like ORIs, shit bulls, the whole 9 yards. And the girl just looks over at me. She's just like, "What?" I'm like, "All right, fuck this girl. She doesn't know what's going on." Saturday night, Sunday morning actually, before we left, we were walking to get breakfast. And finally, he was driving it, and as he passed by, I'm like, "Yo, what's your wheelbase?" It was 124
Fuck.
on a
Jesus
TJ.
Christ.
Dude, like
That's like too much.
I swear to like that's why I yelled it, because I'm like, what the like he almost needed trailing arms and like leading arms in the front because of how fucking long this thing was. Like I don't know, it was nuts. Like the shock hoops in the front were literally at the front of his frame to the bumper practically, and the same in the rear. Oh. But yeah, like it was nuts. So it's crazy that you said 109 because it just makes me really understand that this thing was fucking huge. Like,
Yeah, like I think Sean's is around 114, and the wheelbase is perfect, but the tires are way too small. He just bellies out on everything.
he needs stickies now anyway.
His
So.
We slammed the belly on that thing a shitload though, and I will give it credit. Like it took it. There's a solid. You'll see on the passenger side, he's got those kicker tubes. Right? Well, one of them on the very front portion of the passenger side is now bent up, like, and squished in a solid couple inches. Like it looks fucked up, and that one hurt. That hurt a lot. I was like, I could feel that one in my teeth for a little bit. It was,
You know, and
Yeah.
it's funny because some of those you're just like, yep, my unibody is about to hurt from this, and I'm gonna look under there, and my stiffener, my frame rail, everything's just gonna be dented, and it is what it is because I hit that thing so goddamn hard.
Yep.
I fought with that so bad on my 4-link build.
what, to make it so it doesn't hit?
No, that there were so many spots that were crumpled from beating the stiffeners in.
Yeah. Well, that's like the prime zone for the unibody to get hit and crumple anyways, because it's just enough that you're probably not going to be by those front tires, and the leafs and stuff aren't helping keep things out of the way, and the rear tires there's that perfect area where you don't have any skid plates in most cases that just get smashed behind the B-pillar area. Both the sides on mine are totally fucked.
Yeah, it's fine. It's an XJ. They do that. You know, we've just
That's what the
accepted
tube's
it.
for in the 2x6. I count the 2x6 are probably more like my frame than my actual frame is at this point.
And eventually, they all get cut up into little scrap heaps, and if they become lucky, they end up like Miguel's. If they're not lucky, they just get ran until they fall off of their axles.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that just made me think of Colin's inner unibody section. How absolutely
God.
fucked it is, dude.
It's not there. It's gone. The only
It's
reason that thing is
scary.
still attached is because
The
It
cage.
the
hopes that it's
cage and everything's
attached.
tied to the 2x6.
Yeah, it just hopes that it's there. It doesn't
which is why
actually.
I mentioned that the 2x6 is more like a frame, because that's what's holding his together. Yeah.
Oh shit!
I swear, his Jeep other than where that cross member is attached, the whole thing could rot out and it wouldn't matter because of how tied in everything is with the tube.
Yeah, that honestly is very true.
Still scare the shit out of everybody on the trail when it backfires, though. God
Yes.
damn, dude.
So good.
I can't even count how many times I jumped that weekend. Even though I knew it was coming, I still would jump.
We were in that one spot by Shoot the Moon. We were going up, and it was that perfect like bowl, and I was at the bottom, and Caitlin was at the bottom, and every time it backfired, it was just like a bomb going off. You couldn't hear. Like, my ears were ringing like crazy standing behind that thing.
Yeah, it's just okay.
It is very loud inside the Jeep as well. Like, I've never been inside when it backfires, and holy fuck, it echoes like crazy.
Yeah, and then the funny part is he's just so used to it that he just goes and gives it more.
Well, it's funny because, like, what was it? We got split up when you guys were doing the Red, and that's when was it Jason and Hackbar did the Red Crawl?
Yeah.
And we're like, where the hell are, like, it was like, I think we were helping John fix his fan or something.
His fan burnt up.
His fan burnt up, and we're like, where the hell did everybody go? Like, I lost you guys because I was like kind of in the middle. I was bridging the gap. You guys took off. I slowed down
waiting.
to wait for Miguel.
I was waiting, by the way.
I'm not saying nothing.
Colin did not.
I went down this trail that literally just got more and more narrow and more overgrown. I'm like, is this even a flipping trail? Like, what the hell? So I backed up like probably about a quarter mile and found the Miguel and Brianna, Jay, and John and everything. I'm like, hey guys, I don't know where the rest of the guys are. And all of a sudden, all I hear is pop, 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 pop. And we're like, Colin's over there. Like, you can literally hear him throughout the entire park.
Can I just say, I gotta interrupt here. It's really funny. We've got the YouTuber, friggin' this, friggin' that, like trying to be all polite about everything, not trying to get himself kicked off of YouTube, and we have an episode that once again is dedicated to pegging Cody.
Also, he has children.
Podcasters.
Don't worry. This week's episode title will knock your socks off. So don't worry about that. But he also has children, and they're probably like through the 2 walls away from him. So if he's just swearing up a storm, I'm sure his kids are not going to enjoy him swearing.
Oh, they've wielded me. They've heard worse.
But so, since we all shit on Cody a little bit, no pun intended to the other conversation.
Is that what happens when you pull out?
Yeah, I knew you're getting there. Give me some good credit. You said
I'm sorry. This one's getting ripped right off YouTube. There's no chance.
Give me some good credit then. You were saying something in the beginning of the episode that you had some good credit for me. What is it?
That you stepped in and you were a good spotter. Although it's funny because I started watching some more video, and you're like, Like when somebody gets hung up on a rock, you're like, But then you course correct, and you get them through the obstacle. 9 times out of 10, you did. And there was,
I'll take it.
and like I said, I even gave you credit. It's on video at the bottom of Walk in the Park when I'm literally like teetering. I'm like, am I going over? Am I going over? You're like, I feel like you're going over. I'm on the brake. Kind of, about to 2-foot. He's like, just throttle through, be fine. Like, okay, I did it. Ended up on the right side up, and I'm like, you're the best spotter.
So I gotta ask, now that you're throwing this out there, who's better spotter, Cody or Luke?
I think we have
how much damage I want to sustain.
Yeah, we have our.
I was able to drive back onto my trailer with Cody.
I definitely say we have our differences, Luke. You're very direct. You know what you want, and when somebody doesn't do it, you just instantly get them to reset and try again. Where with me, I kind of let them choose their line and then just help them adjust as they go through it, I guess would be the difference. But also, you're good in that sense because when you're pushy, you're like, no, fuck you. You're going up this. You're slamming your driver's whole door into this tree, and if you don't make it, you're flopping back down on your passenger side. Good luck, pussy. And then slap their hood as you walk by. Like that's kind of your style.
Here's a jack. Fix your shit.
Yeah.
I will be right there helping fix it, though.
Depends on who it is.
Here's the.
Here's a chance. Fix your shit.
Come on. You blew up the 30. You fixed the 30.
Call me when you get big boy shit. Here's your Jack.
Oh, you want to get big boy shit? I will talk to you for hours in depth about every little nuance.
And we kind of did that a little bit. Like, what's under this rig here? Ooh, I think I want that.
My rig's a glorious garbage can for that particular reason. It just shows up and goes.
I don't know. I think if you had made it to Rausch, shit probably would have been off the rails a little bit sooner.
Yes.
I think.
Guaranteed, that is my specialty.
Riling people up.
There's a lot of times where we're like, if Luke is here, do you think you do this? Even though it's like a near vertical climb, like death rocks on either side, or like a 10-foot.
Oh, no. I don't want to hear that. Luke won't do the walls of death. He gets a little scared. He takes the bypasses.
Walls
Is
of
that
death.
the O-Red?
Yep.
The O-Red. Dude, I almost broke my ass walking up that fucking thing.
Yes.
Whoa!
Sorry.
Whoa!
The only person breaking their ass here is Cody.
Well, he did that by choice.
Sorry, Cody. You guys suck.
We're limping pretty bad Saturday morning.
Back to the
walked
Cody
over. You guys got eggs?
So I'm just gonna take a quick second here, break the fourth wall for the people listening to the podcast. Mark has not listened to Rausch Part 1.
Yes, that is true.
And
Shit,
this is
right.
the level of jokes that we're getting out of this.
I kind of wish Curtis was on.
He wasn't even there for the actual comment.
No, he wasn't. That was Sunday night. But yeah, Curtis was on last episode, so any of the stuff you wish you could hear him say today, you'll hear him, or,
You'll
wait.
hear it.
You'll hear it in 2 days.
They're not going to hear this one till after they hear the first one.
I was kind of upset. I was like, God, I wish I could have been on at the same time as Curtis, because Curtis is kind of one of those...
Isn't he a weird individual that
he
you
gets
meet?
things going, and then he takes shit off the rails real hard.
We talked about it, actually. I think it was me and Graham that talked about it. It's tough with 5 people, even though Richie hasn't talked in the past 30 minutes, but we won't talk about that.
You guys have been talking about Rausch. I wasn't at Rausch.
You should have came. You could have routed my passenger seat the entire time. I offered up to Kaylin and Cody, but I'm not cool enough.
Whoa now. He's playing SnowRunner. He's on his own little world over there. But we talked about it, and 6 people would have been a tough dynamic to try to get everybody talking, have everybody's stories in. I mean, I guess we could have split it up, but it would have been like a 3-hour episode that would have been like part 1, part 2, but still, I think it would have been nuts.
And not for nothing, it might even be worth it to split up that particular podcast just because of how damn long it is. So, yeah. But I will tell you one thing, when it comes to spotting people, the autistic monotone is what breaks stuff, because if you talk in the same manner that you talk about every other thing that is going on, and you're just like, yeah, so you're going to bounce off of this, and then you're going to make this, people are just really relaxed by that for some reason, because they can't detect the little sadistic hints in there. So...
Well, Cody's more, I don't want to say flamboyant, but yeah, you are.
I think with today's topic discussions, flamboyant's a pretty decent word.
I threw that out there for that very reason.
But I will say, I'm not a good spotter at all. I tend to sort of paraphrase the spotting, and I'm kind of like, just go driver and come forward, and I don't give them any idea on what's going on, and I feel like sometimes if you give people an idea of what they're driving over, it's a little more helpful. But I don't have I'm a fairly patient person, but not when it comes to speaking. I'm not a patient speaker. So trying to guide people through things, I tend to just paraphrase, and it's never fun. I noticed when I was spotting Sean last weekend, it was I was kind of like, just go forward and passenger, and then that's not going to work. Back up, do this
Can we
thing. I
talk about
don't.
how he's pointing driver and still saying
Well,
passenger?
no. The
though?
cameras are all
He's-
reversed. That's no. The cameras are reversed. Passenger, exactly.
You're
What?
literally
See,
pointing
my head
the
exactly.
wrong way.
It's a perfect example. One of the directions, right?
I will
Yeah.
say, Graham, that the few times that you've spotted for me, I've noticed that you've done that too, where you'll
Mhm.
point one direction, say the other direction, and then you act all confused. I'm like, well, which is it?
I do that
Follow
too,
the
though.
finger. That is the secret when Graham
Oh.
is spotting. You follow the finger. You don't actually listen to what he's saying.
Yeah, don't
And you
just follow
just-
the figure. I'll tell your tires where they go forward, this way, that way.
And if he's like giving you the motion of like really get at it, just there's like this third pedal over there. You just sink your left foot into it, and then you sink your right foot into the other one, and you pop it, and you go, and you hope for the best.
Yep. That's a good way of putting it. I definitely, it's the motions for me, not really the words.
You
To be
put your
fair,
left foot in,
I
put your
do-
right foot-
I do get it mixed up every once in a while.
Yeah, we were making fun of you a little bit, but your
Yeah.
words made more sense. It was just occasionally you'd be pointing, you'd be like, "Go passenger," and you'd be pointing backwards.
To be completely honest, though, Cody got me through just about everything I tried. Although
Yep.
Yellow Jacket was a bit rough, but that was because I was getting cocky. It was the end of the day. I was literally a few hours away from leaving.
That is the
Like, whatever.
best time to get
Yeah.
cocky. That's when you like repetitively throw it into first and start popping the pedal on the right really, really, really hard. And you start watching Dana 60 parts leave the Jeep, rear suspension's falling out, you blow your 3-link upper off. Yeah, I know
But-
all about that. At
But it's
Rausch.
funny because, like I said, I'm watching the video, and it's so funny watching everybody's style. Everybody's a little bit different. Graham is calculated, but has that ability to throttle out when needed. Colin, straight throttle, like
Always.
probably to a fault. Hackbar, he gets in it when he needs to, and but I'm so boring to watch compared to those guys
So
because
where do
I'm
I
just
fall into that?
Hold on. Hackbar definitely lets his suspension and 42-inch stickies take control of his
Oh
drive.
my god! Having
his
driven that
rig-
thing once, it's
Yeah.
just a cheater rig. He doesn't have to do anything. I think I gave him shit after I drove up that steep ass incline on the comp course. I was like, how do you not just walk every goddamn obstacle on this place? Like the tires and his suspension setup are just—it's such a good setup.
in my video, I'm hoping I'm going to keep it in. I threw him under the bus because I show him struggling more than everyone else, including myself. So we'll see. Because I literally had his entire trip up Trail 5 hill climb, which consisted of what, like 4 tries on 42 stickies. But I'll give him the credit. He did take the harder line.
Oh, Jitters Way.
Jotters Ways. Thank you. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I mean, everybody walked
Trail
the
5.
hill climb. Yeah,
So-
that's
I
Trail
was
5.
so confused for a second because I'm like, wait, were
Well-
you there Sunday? I was like, what the how'd that happen? That's when we went back and everything went haywire.
But like he was like rah, rah, like hammering on the throttle. I'm like, what do you
To his
It's
his
weird.
credit, he was with a bunch of DOT rigs on 37-inch tires and you on the 40s for the first day and even the second day, right? Even I think the main demographic is not. I mean, we had Jason second
Yeah.
day, but you know, when you're the biggest rig, it's a little bit like you have to take the harder lines that nobody else can take, and then you end up struggling a little more because you're the only person who can do it. So he's generally paving the way and finding the right line. Once you see the line, it's easy to go and copy it.
But that actually gave me a confidence to try too, because I felt like I was in the same kind of realm. I know he was out. His rig is definitely more built. More built than mine. But like, it gave me confidence. Like, I could probably try that. If he's struggling with this, I could probably put some tires on it, really hammer through some stuff, and maybe kind of expand on my ability
So
based on it.
I gotta
Sorry.
ask though, I said it before. Where do I fall into that throttle versus skill matrix?
What?
Well, he was just saying,
I don't want to
Colin.
offend you, but you're definitely throttle heavy. You're
Okay.
definitely throttle heavy.
Okay.
I love to hear people talk about him.
Yes,
You're throttle
funny.
heavy. You're throttle heavy.
Here, talk to me about my Jeep that I haven't driven in 2 years.
yes. It makes
tell
me
me.
feel good about dropping copious amounts of money
Well,
into this stupid shitbox.
So to make you feel, I don't know if this will make you feel better or make you feel worse. When you one-shot everything on Ma Bell and I'm sitting here broken on the side because you spotted me into a broken spot, like, it's kind of hard to kind of judge.
No, you did not commit on that obstacle, mister.
Bullshit!
Okay? That obstacle,
No,
hold
that
on.
was not
No.
commitment. That was
No.
like half-assing into it.
So,
Fuck you! I was throttle up!
hold on. That obstacle, though, is set up that if you put your tires just before the crest and you stay consistent on the throttle, you will clear the second bump. Everybody lets off once they feel the crest the first one. Then they're like, "Oh shit, I'm still going," and then that's when you slide into the hole that you fell into. So just
Now
commit,
this
mister.
is
Listen,
where
I
I'm gonna,
will
Richie. I'm literally setting you up for this. This is where Richie excels because Richie can make that obstacle look like a fucking cakewalk every damn time.
He one-shotted it like he was like literally just strolling up a dirt road.
I got videos of me doing that 31's open, okay? Don't even say nothing.
Wasn't that when you blew the drive shaft, or was that Marvell?
That was Marvell.
No, Marvell
What?
blew up his uppers. He blew his uppers that day.
Richie, am I
Oh,
wrong
that's
about
right.
that?
No, you're not wrong. But what I was actually gonna say is the one time that Cody was spotting me up that obstacle, he gave me all kinds of shit because I let off in the middle of it, and I only let off because my computer
Radio.
speaker fucking yeeted itself off my dash and nutted me so fucking hard.
Fuck,
That
I
I
forgot
just
about that.
instantly, while I was going up, I just instantly curled into a ball crying.
Uh-huh. Good.
And
Good
this
time.
is why you zip tied your computer speakers to the pillar.
Holy shit! I totally missed that happening. I'm sorry.
Jesus.
It happens a lot more than I care to mention, and I really do need to learn how to use a zip tie.
Or
Jesus.
replace your
Duct tape is your friend.
speakers with quality speakers. But what do I know?
But then the quality speakers.
They don't even need to
Leave
be
the
quality.
Jeep.
They just need to not be speakers from a computer that are like not even bolted to the dash. Oh, they are hilarious. I'll give you that, and they work. So
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
they're loud enough so that way I can hear it on the highway when I'm doorless.
This is literally a video of me doing it open with 31s. I'll show you after. So literally, if you just go up to it, commit, and don't do what Marvell did, which was hit it at like 40, try to downside up the second ledge, and then slam your axle into it and it snaps. You don't want that. But
it's all about the tasteful bump. You need to. You got to know when to hold them.
Know when to fold 'em?
You got to know when to hold them and when to fold them, and there's some
he listens to
analogy
Johnny Cash.
there. That's right. Yeah.
I'm very light on the throttle.